Hi there. Looks like we're live right now. So welcome to this Facebook 9 Lives broadcast. So we're going to do a series of 9 Facebook live broadcasts with a bunch of awesome business coaches. And today I have with me Peter Drummond, who is the partner of Joanne Clark. That's why I made that mistake. Peter Drummond from Destiny Pursuit Coaching and Training. So welcome, Peter.
Thank you, Jürgen. Good to be here.
And what we wanted to talk about today in this very short live broadcast was setting goals. So one of the things about setting goals is you need to really know your outcome, right? And SMART goals, people talk about SMART goals. So tell us a little bit around the philosophy of knowing your outcome, knowing what you want to achieve and how that contributes to setting SMART goals, Peter.
Well, the first thing that I want to talk about is really the important thing is to have a goal that moves you towards the future. So many people, when they're setting goals, what they talk about is they talk about what they don't want. And in neuro-linguistic programming, in NLP, we talk about what you focus on is what you get, and that's pretty common sense kind of thing. So if you focus on what you don't want, the unfortunate thing is the tendency is you get more of that rather than what you do want. So the first thing, the most important thing, is to work out what you do want and something that's going to draw you towards a kind of a compelling future. So if you take the example of I want to lose weight. So that's a
classic one, isn't it?
That's a classic example. So if your goal is to lose weight, what does that actually mean? First of all, it's not very specific. You can't sort of picture it into the future. And what happens is the minute you lose a bit of weight, your unconscious mind basically says, tick, job done, and you stop. But much better if you can come up with something that's much more clear in terms of what that's going to look like, sound like, feel like.
And in a business sense, that might be, I want more money, or I want more business.
Or less
more
stress.
Revenue.
Yeah. Yep. More time. So you've got to work out what exactly does that mean? What does that look like, sound like, and feel like for you? And that's where SMART goals come in. When you're using a SMART framework, then the goal can become much more compelling.
That's right, yeah. So tell us what does SMART goals mean? And then my follow-up question to that is essentially what can you make clever SMART goals? So I'm using the double positive there. In terms of, so some people say SMART goals, well, I've got all these numbers in place that I want to achieve, and so therefore I've got SMART goals, and yet they still don't seem to be able to achieve them.
And that's right, Jürgen. That's because the numbers, if you like, are only just one part of the picture. Excuse me. So if we take it from the start, the goal should be specific and simple. So you should be able to in terms of being able to walk around with it in your head, it's a very difficult thing to do. The second thing is that it does have to be measurable. So the numbers, if you like, are important, but again, we want to measurable in a way that your unconscious mind can accept quite readily. So if you're taking the losing weight example, so a measurable goal might be, I want to be 65, well, I wouldn't want to be 65 kilos, but I might say I want to be 75 kilograms on or before the 1st of June 2017. So very simple. It's how much and when by, and your unconscious mind can just accept that quite readily. So it's very clear. And you want to think about your unconscious mind as as a small child, and you could sort of get the sense of where that would be for yourself. You know, my unconscious mind, I think, is about 6 years old, so it's got to be able to be explained in those terms. So if I can explain it to myself as I would to a 6-year-old, then I'm pretty sure that I'll be able to accept that. Then we talk about the unconscious, the next one being realistic and responsible. So the goal, you want to know that it's been done by somebody else, basically. Yep. So if it's been done by somebody else and it's in your sphere of influence, then it's something that you could also achieve. So for example, you know, a couple of years ago, I had a goal to run a marathon. Now, I'd never run a marathon before. I was 53 years old. Was it realistic? Now, it's not that I had to say, has anybody run a marathon? I had to say, well, has anybody roughly in my position, 50-something years old, relatively fit, but never having run that far, would it be possible to run a marathon? And the answer was yes. So I could see that it was a realistic option, and I could check with my own sort of circumstances in life that I would have the time to be able to commit to it. And so I could tick that box and say that was something that would be possible for me. And then the last one is really timed and towards. So you need to have a definite time in which the goal is going to be achieved. And as I said, something that's drawing you towards the goal rather than something you don't want. So they're the kind of simple steps that the SMART goal basically takes you through.
And you mentioned earlier around NLP and your unconscious mind, and how if it's not framed in the right context, such as a towards goal, that your unconscious mind can actually sabotage you by saying, yes, I have less weight, or yes, I've run, yes, I can now run without pain, or whatever it might be. Tell us a little bit more about that. How do you, on top of those SMART goals, then structure that whole NLP aspect so that your unconscious mind can actually picture the goal, can kind of imagine yourself achieving it, knows what it sounds like, feels like, and
yeah. So if I take that marathon goal as an example. So when I was making that goal, I said to myself, so when I achieved that goal, it was to run the New York Marathon, November the 2nd, 2013. In order to achieve that goal, what would that look like, sound like, feel like? So I imagined myself running over the finishing line, hearing the crowd cheering, feeling that sense of exhilaration. All that became a very clear picture for me in achieving that goal. So that was something that drew me towards achieving that goal as well, because it was a very, very compelling set of sensory images for me, not only in terms of images, but also in terms of what I could hear and what I could feel as I crossed that finish line. So that was something that my unconscious mind was very, very attractive to, both because of its simplicity, but also because of its clarity.
And I guess we should add that you achieved the goal, right?
I did. I was able to.
Yeah.
And it was interesting because crossing the finishing line was just as I had imagined it, which I found really interesting and something I could learn from in terms of setting my own goals. That just as often as not, you can be pretty right on the mark when you're just imagining what that's going to be like. The other framework I would talk about in terms of setting goals is, and this is something else that we talk about in NLP, are the 5 success principles. So once having set the goal, of course, what's going to happen from there to the achievement of it is the critical sort of question. And so many times people set a goal and then it becomes a piece of paper that goes in the top drawer and people don't refer to it again. So when we talk about the 5 success principles, the first thing we talk about is taking massive action. the only way that a goal is going to achieve is if you actually get out there on the field and really play. So it's about taking action. It's about having well, we've already talked about the first one, is knowing your outcome.
Yeah.
So now we've got the outcome, the goal. So it's taking action. It's having sensory acuity, which means noticing what's working and what's not, and being able to adjust as you go. There's no point being inflexible as circumstances occur. You just need to be flexible enough to be able to see what's drawing you towards your goal and what's getting in the way, and then having the behavioural flexibility to make the changes as required. And the last one of the 5 principles is operating from a physiology and a psychology of excellence. So it simply means asking the question, how do successful people approach this kind of goal? What do they look like? How do they present themselves? What's their thinking around it? And just basically modelling off that. And if you follow those five principles, then you're much more likely to achieve the goals that you've set. Yeah,
that's great advice, and it's a great model and framework that can be used for a whole range of things, not just planning and goal setting. But on the subject of planning and goal setting, though, we have this Thailand planning event for fabulous businesses coming up fairly soon, don't we? So this is for businesses that aspire to become $1 million plus revenue businesses, that are in rapid growth, that are innovative, and that want to really ramp up their business to the next level. So we have this Thailand where Peter and I are both involved, along with 3 other awesome business coaches. So tell us a little bit more about that, Peter.
Well, I'm super excited about this, Jürgen. We're taking a number of businesses who are really up for it, and we're going to be working with them for 5 days to really super turbocharge their businesses. And we've got we think we've got the whole business framework covered. Really, we're talking about the mindset that you bring into the business, your capacity to plan for success, the digital marketing side of things, the systems and processes, and then the capacity to put it all together in a way, as I said, as a goal that will compel you towards the future and have you come back from Thailand really excited and with clarity to what's next in your business in terms of growth.
Yeah, that's right. And I'm really excited by this too. So if that's something that's of interest, you can find out more by visiting the link that I've just popped up on the page right now. And we'll look forward to seeing you there if you'd like to come away. So the other thing that Peter didn't mention was that it's all happening in a 5-star tropical island resort where we'll be pampered and we'll have nothing to worry about except planning that awesome future for our business. And we'll be doing our planning as well while we're there. So we'll be working with everybody to turbocharge your business, as Peter put it. All right. Well, this has been great, Peter. Really enjoyed doing this. And tomorrow we're going to do another one of these sessions, the Facebook 9 Lives, we've called it. And not sure who's on tomorrow. We've kind of rearranged the schedule because of people's availability, but it definitely will be either Peter, myself, or Joanne Clark, or Angela McDonald, or Andrea Hendricks, and the other awesome business coaches that are coming along on our Thailand event. So just seeing you at midday tomorrow, midday Australian time. That is Australian Eastern Standard Time. Thanks, Peter.
Thanks, Jürgen.